Hi, it's Dr. Z. This week we will learn about correlation. The word of the week is relationship. This chapter introduces a new statistical test that will allow researchers to measure if there is a relationship between variables. The previous statistical tests, such as t-test and ANOVA, were comparing sample means, so we use the term difference in our summary and interpretation statements. Now, since we're measuring relationships, we will use the word relationship instead of difference in our hypotheses and summaries and interpretation statements. So let's get started with this week's overview. By the end of this week, you'll be able to complete these district course competencies and learning objectives. For this week, you please watch the module review video and view this week's activity checklist here. There are two sections this week. The first section is Introduction to Correlation. What is a correlation? Well, let's break it down into its parts. The prefix co refers to two. The word relation refers to a relationship. When put together, correlation is a statistical technique to measure and describe the relationship between two variables. There are several different measures of correlation. For this course, we will only review the Pearson R correlation that measures the linear relationship between two variables. Please read the designated pages in the textbook and complete the corresponding Nearpod lesson. The second section is on conducting a hypothesis test with Pearson correlation. Once you've learned how to calculate a Pearson R correlation, we need to determine if the relationship between the two variables is statistically significant or not. We will do this by conducting a hypothesis test. I do want to point out something important. The R distribution table is not provided in your textbook. Rather, I have provided it in your course packet. You will need to know this table to find the critical region. So please read the designated pages in the textbook and watch the assigned videos. This week's activity is on reporting correlation. We will continue to strengthen the skill of thinking and writing like researchers this week. This activity will give you an opportunity to practice writing summary and interpretation statements for a two-tailed hypothesis test with Pearson correlation. Each student will be assigned one sample research study to work on and share their statements with the class in discussion board number 10. The activity handout is available in your course packet. You will complete the activity handout on your own by writing the answers in the space provided on the activity handout. Well, let's go to our assignments for this week. The first assignment is the Nearpod lesson. This lesson will introduce how to calculate a Pearson R correlation, as well as how to write summaries and interpretation statements. The second assignment is discussion board number 10 on correlation. This discussion board ties back to the activity on writing summaries and interpretation statements. Question 1 asks you to reflect on the video on causality and correlation. Question 2 asks you to share your summary and interpretation statements for your science sample study. And question 3 is a reflection of this experience. There is one additional assignment this week because it's part of your independent t-test project. The project outline will identify your research question and provide some structure to your project. Now, this handout here, the project outline guide, will be extremely helpful in designing your project and completing this assignment. I strongly encourage you to review the sample outlines under sample projects posted on Canvas to understand my expectations for this assignment. The fourth assignment is the problem set. This problem set reviews concepts in Introduction to Correlation and in hypothesis tests with Pearson correlation. This problem set will help you practice conducting a two-tailed hypothesis test with Pearson R correlation. This week's activity will also be excellent practice for the summary and interpretation statements that you will provide in this problem set. And the last assignment is the chapter quiz. Please make sure to complete the reading and online activities for this week's chapter before taking the quiz. Now, if you're still here, I'm going to reward you with extra credit, but in a different way. To make sure that you're reading and reviewing everything, this week's extra credit is actually posted in the weekly welcome announcement sent on Monday. If you want to earn extra credit, you better find it and read the announcement and submit the answer in extra credit Easter eggs. And with that, my friends, you'll have successfully completed this week's module. I look forward to reviewing your awesome assignments this week.